Playoffs? Did someone say playoffs?
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Welcome to Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, where it is your team every day. I'm your host, Boonie. One name. Episodes will drop Monday through Friday at 6 a.m. That's Oakland time, Vegas time, and yes, Sacramento time. Whether you are on your way to work, driving back from work, or listening casually during the day, this is the place for A's fans to get the latest game breakdowns, team news, and more. Thank you for making Locked On A's your first listen every day. We are free and available wherever you get your podcast, including YouTube. And please hit that subscribe button wherever you're following the show. I'm from the Bay Area, and I've been a die-hard A's fan since 1981. I'm here to give you a real fan's take. This is where the passion of the fans takes center stage. Today's Locked On A's is brought to you in part by Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off your first purchase. I am pretty fired up for today because the 2025 A's are going to be pretty damn good. I don't want to get ahead of myself, but yeah, I will say it. Questions have arose in my head where we will have our World Series parade. A little premature? Maybe. Maybe not. In order to do that, we need to sign some free agents to help the young talent we already have. Considering we're playing in a minor league ballpark next year and the history of what ownership has spent in the free agent market, it's not going to be an easy task. But hey, they don't pay me the big bucks for nothing. So we'll dive into potential free agents the A's can sign. We'll not have a State of the Boonian today. I know that's breaking your heart, but I have something a little bit better. We have Boonie Ball. This is where I'm going to select my opening 26-man roster along with my starting lineup for the opener in Seattle on March 27th. Before we can go forward, we have to take a step back and look at what happened in 2024 and where we need help. We rolled into spring training coming off 112 loss season. Right from the get-go, it wasn't what was happening on the field, but what was happening off the field that was drawing all the attention with the A's potential move, and everywhere you went, you would see a sell the team t-shirt, etc. We did have a couple of bright spots from 23 going into 2024 spring training. Brett Rooker had a breakout year, had 30 jacks, and probably our biggest bright spot was Estuary Reese, who stole 67 bases, led the American League, and was only second in all of baseball to Ronald Acuña's 73 bases. But Acuña did it in 159 games, where Esty did it in 132. The A's were surprisingly active in the free agent market, but it seemed that everyone they signed were San Francisco Giants leftovers. To hopefully boost starting pitching, they signed two veterans to anchor the staff. They traded for Ross Stripling, who was owed $12.5 million by the Giants in 2024, but the Giants picked up $3.5 million of that contract. The A's ended up paying him $9.25 million for the 2024 season. They signed Alex Wood to a one-year, $8.5 million deal. To help in the bullpen, they signed left-hander Scott Alexander to a one-year, $2.25 million deal, and third baseman J.D. Davis to a one-year deal as well, worth around, I believe, around $2.25 million as well. I was less than flabbergasted by those deals, and actually pains me today still thinking about him. Our projected opening day lineup looked like this. Ryan Noda leading off, playing first base. Zach Geloff at second. Rooker DH. Batting cleanup with Seth Brown playing right field. Shea Langoliers was catching. We had JJ Bleday in left field. Esty was in center. Abraham Toro was at third. And Nick Allen was at shortstop. Our pitching rotation was Alex Wood as our number one, Stripling as our two, JP Sears, Paul Blackburn, and Joe Boyle. On April 1st, before the season was even a week long, the A's shocked everyone in baseball by sending down Estuary Reese. He was a crowd favorite and our most exciting player, coming off a huge 2023 campaign. On top of that, he started the season 3 for 7 with a double, a triple, and a stolen base. This made zero sense, and the A's reasoning for why they sent him down was just such BS. Immediately, this drew the attention of the baseball world as fans thought that ownership was intentionally trying to lose. It mirrored the movie Major League. It gets better. 3 days later, the A's announced the move to Sacramento. After a 1-7 start to the season, the A's started to figure it out a bit. They split a 4-game set in New York and won 2 of 3 in Baltimore. Lucas Ursay and Mason Miller became to establish themselves as a legitimate duo coming out of the bullpen. Despite all the off-field distractions, the A's won 6 in a row, topped off with a 20-4 pounding over the Florida Marlins, where Brett Rooker hit 2 mammoth shots in 1 inning. And on May 4th, they were 17-17. That's right, the 500 mark. And remember, the AL West wasn't the strongest of divisions. And believe it or not, I was thinking this possibly could be a fairy tale type ending to the A's time in Oakland. That was short-lived, as they ended up May with a 9-19 mark and June with 7 wins and 20 losses. I mean, every time the ball got to Wood and Stripling, they were like Kershaw in the postseason. They would pitch a ball and turn right around to see where the ball landed. It was like 3 innings and 6 runs was considered a quality start for them. Extremely, extremely frustrating. If they were the anchors to our staff, we were sinking. And that's exactly what the A's did, with a mark of 30-56 going into July, and any type of fairy tale ending gone. We did have some bright spots. Brett Rooker picked off where he left off in 2023. And Mason Miller, our lone all-star, became to establish himself as one of the best closers in baseball. One of the biggest stories of 2024 was the emergence of Lawrence Butler. He was sent down to AAA on May 13th, and when he got called back, no one was really ready for what he was about to produce. In the month of July, Lawrence Butler went 33 of 91 for a .363 average. He hit 10 bombs, which included 3 in Philadelphia, and he had 27 RBIs. He had another 3 home run game in Cincinnati in August. The A's started to play a little bit, going 29-21 in July and August. They were playing around 500 ball in September, but dropped 7 of their last 9 with all the off-field attention going on with this being their last games in Oakland, etc. Overall, 69-93, which isn't anything to really write home about, but it was a 19-game improvement from 2023. We had some things to get excited about. JP Sears established himself as a true number 1 pitcher in our rotation. Mason Miller as one of the best closers in all of baseball, and Brett Rooker as one of the best hitters in baseball. And with Lawrence Butler's emergence, we had some pieces. Let's not forget about Miguel Andujar. He was hurt half the year in 2024, but still ended up hitting 285. Everyone forgets about Miguel Andujar. Remember, in 2018, for the New York Yankees, he hit 297. He hit 27 home runs. He was second in the Rookie of the Year voting to only Shohei Ohtani. He has been hurt. He has been fighting injuries over the years, which has sidelined him. But I'm expecting him back 100% in 2025. The A's obviously have some needs going into the 2025 season. We need some pitching, and we need another bat. Let's see what the old free agent market has cooking. Up next. Today's Locked On A's is brought to you in part by Gametime. As baseball is winding down, opening night for the Golden State Warriors is right around the corner when they open up against the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday, October 27th. And for me, opening night in the NBA is only second to opening day for the A's. Gametime is an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to the first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seats, and the lowest price guarantee. Gametime takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I'm looking through the Gametime app right now for tickets to the Warriors, and I love it. The whole diagram of the arena pops up with sections and prices, easy to read. When I click on a section and a price of a ticket, a virtual window pops up showing you exactly where you will be sitting and what the live action looks like. The Gametime app will even tell you what kind of deal you are getting based on other tickets for sale. Flash deals, save even more with an exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or event. Zone deals, save even more when you choose a section and let Gametime choose the seats. All-in pricing. Toggling this feature shows you the total up front with no surprise fees at checkout. If you find tickets in the same section and row for less, Gametime will credit you 110% of the difference. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets and more with Gametime picks. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use Locked On MLB for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONMLB for $20 off. Download Gametime today. Last minute tickets. Lowest price guaranteed. A few days ago, I was listening to Locked On Giants. Ben Kasnick hosts that show over there and does an incredible job with Locked On Giants. He was doing a segment similar to the one I am currently doing, where he was exploring possible free agents for the Giants. And I believe he was talking about Tom Murphy potentially earning $4 million for a season and how that signing was opposed to by the Giants fan base. Ben made a comment that $4 million is nothing for major league teams these days. Now, he would be right under normal circumstances, but the A's is not a normal circumstance, and $4 million is a freaking monster for the A's. We signed someone to $4 million, you would have think we got Juan Soto. Like I said at the opening, speculating on who the A's will sign next year might be the hardest job ever. One thing about the A's we know for sure, for absolute certainty is that we don't know. In order to tackle this task, we must start with what the A's have done historically in free agent market under the Fisher ownership since 2016. Since 2016, the A's have sold a total of 23 free agents. Out of those 23 free agents, the longest contract they have offered has been to two players. Ryan Madson, who signed a 3-year, $22 million deal, and Billy Butler, who signed a 3-year, $30 million deal, which has been the largest contract the A's have ever given since John Fisher has taken over in 2016. Out of the 23 contracts offered, 15 of them were 1-year deals, and 6 have been 2-year deals. 15 of the 23 contracts offered, the players have been 33 years of age or older. In other words, on the back end of their career, to say the least. We know winning is secondary to the A's, and that's not me trying to cast shade on them or knock them. When Leo Wolf was the face of ownership, he came out publicly and said that making money is number one and winning is number two. And as we all know, that formula has not changed. Okay, so I know what I'm working with. Where do we need to get better? In 2024, the A's were 25th in all of baseball in batting average, on base percentage, ERA, and batting average against. They were 26th in runs scored, but 8th in home runs. Looking at the A's contracts for next year, they don't have any guaranteed contracts and have approximately $24 million coming off the books in contracts that expired in 2024, which includes the large contracts by Alex Wood and Ross Stripling. We have 5 players that are arbitration eligible: Danny Jimenez, Miguel Andujar, Austin Adams, Seth Brown, and Brett Rooker. I'm saying goodbye to Adams and Brown, and I'm bringing back Danny Jimenez, Miguel Andujar, and Brett Rooker. Those 3 will cost a total of around $10 million to bring back, which gives me around $14 million to play with in free agency if they want a similar payroll to what they had last year. Now, that's give or take. Here's where it gets tough. The A's are playing in a minor league park in Sacramento, where the temperature is well over 100 degrees in the dog days of June, July, and August. They will need to pay a premium for the free agents they can't afford. What this means is that they will need to offer multi-year contracts as an incentive, which Fisher has not done historically. As I said earlier, the biggest thing we know about the A's is that we don't know. A's GM David Force has come out and said the A's are going to be active in the free agent market this year. And I don't know what that means. The A's are young, but as we saw last year, very, very talented. I believe if they do not make one change to the roster, I see this team around a 78, 84 record. But if we add the right players, I can see us in contention. The Detroit Tigers grabbed the last wild card spot this year with 86 wins. The Houston Astros won the AL West with 88 wins. And as we have seen in the past, if you get to the postseason, anything can happen. Given this formula, I am targeting 3 free agents, 2 starting pitchers, and a left-handed bat. First, left-handed pitcher, Matthew Boyd, from the Cleveland Guardians. Mostly a journeyman who began in the big leagues in 2015 and has stints in Toronto, Detroit, and Seattle before coming to Cleveland in 2024. Now, he got brought up late, only appeared in 8 games, but boasted a 2.72 ERA. Where Boyd really turned the corner was in this year's postseason. He pitched in 4 games, 12 innings, allowed 8 hits, 1 run, and struck out 14 batters. It was an ERA under 1. I'm thinking 2 years, 10 million. That should do the trick. Next, from the Kansas City Royals, Michael Lorenzen, an old savvy veteran, was an all-star with the Tigers in 2020. 33 years old, on the back end of his career, perfect fit for the A's. He had a solid year with the Rangers and Royals this year, went 7-6 with a 3.31 ERA. He is going to be a little bit tougher contract-wise, and it's going to take something like 3 years, $24 million to land him, I believe. Finally, from the New York Mets, left-handed hitter Jesse Winker. He was an all-star with the Reds in 2021. He hit .305, 24 jacks, and drove in 71 runs. He fought injuries over the last couple seasons with the Nationals and the Brewers, but really turned the page this year with the Mets. He played mostly in a platoon role, but was one of the Mets' top hitters down the stretch and hit a tad over 400 in the NLCS. I'm thinking 3 years, $18 million should be plenty to land Winker. At the end of the day, we don't know what the free agent market is going to do in 2025. 2024 was a surprise for all, as players weren't signed to the contracts they wanted or signed as quickly as they hoped. So who knows what 2025 will be. Tell me what you think. Who do you like, and who do you think is a realistic signing for the A's? Up next, my opening day 26-man roster. You don't want to miss it. Today's Locked On episode is brought to you in part by Fanduel. Hey, NFL fans, you can start the season with a big return on Fanduel, America's #1 sportsbook. When you get a hunch in the middle of the game, you can check out the latest stats, view live play-by-play, and so much more on the same page where you place your bets. You'll get started with $200 in bonus bets guaranteed when you place your first $5 bet. That's Fanduel.com. Before I get into my opening day lineup, you all have probably listened to a lot of baseball shows, podcasts, broadcasts, and have heard the term OPS on probably every occasion. If you are like me, you grew up with baseball on 3 stats: batting average, home runs, and RBIs. And over the last several years, new terms have been presented, and the most casual fans don't know what that actually entails. We all know that a high OPS is good, but what is OPS exactly? It is on-base percentage plus slugging percentage equals your OPS. OPS basically provides how productive a hitter is overall. We always look at hitters in the term of production. Well, production now has a number associated with it called OPS. Generally, a .750 OPS is a good, solid number. For example, the A's had 3 players in 2024 who were above .750. Brett Rooker, J.J. Bleday, and Lawrence Butler. To give you a little perspective, Barry Bonds' best OPS in one season was 1.421, which ranks 3rd all time. The best OPS career goes to the Babe Ruth, with a 1.163 OPS. The moment we have been all waiting for. March 27th, opening day in Seattle. Here's my opening day lineup, along with my 26-man roster. Leading off, playing right field. This should be no surprise. Lawrence Butler. Batting second. I got him playing third base. He played third base with the Yankees. Can he play third base with the A's is a question. But right now I got him penciled in, playing third, batting second, Miguel Andujar. Batting third, playing left field, free agent signing from the New York Mets, Jesse Winker. Cleanup, the man himself, Brett Rooker. Batting fifth, playing center field, JJ Bleday. Batting sixth, playing first base, Tyler Soderstrom. Batting seventh, catching, Shea Langoliers. Batting eighth and playing second base, Zach Geloff. And batting ninth, playing shortstop, Zach Wilson. Now, here is who I have coming off the bench. Backing up Langoliers, catching, is Kyle McCann. I'm not sure of Andujar playing third base, so I want to make sure I have another three bag on the bench just in case. He made his debut last year, came out hot, struggled while he was up. But he can definitely pick it. Brett Harris. Next, coming off the bench, every ball club needs somebody like him who can play a little bit of everywhere. Max Schumann. And I got two rookies making the squad this year. Denzel Clark, fourth rounder out of Cal State Northridge, is a sight to behold. Swiped 36 bases last year in Double A. Hit around 400 in fall ball. Denzel Clark. And Colby Thomas. Led minor league baseball in home runs last year. 31. Hit 277. .905 OPS. Tore it up. When he was a senior at Mercer, he was in the hunt for leading the country in home runs before he got hurt. Look out for Colby Thomas. He's going to be special. Now to our pitching staff, warming up in the bullpen. Our ace, our number one, JP Sears. Our number two, Osvaldo Beto. Our number three, free agent from the Royals, Michael Lorenzen. Our number four, free agent from the Cleveland Guardians, Tyler Boyd. And filling in on that fifth spot is going to be Hogan Harris, who came off a huge 2023. Our seventh inning guy is going to be Grant Holman, who came up late last year, looked very, very impressive. Our setup guy is going to be Tyler Ferguson. And our closer, who needs no introduction, Mason Miller. I got Mitch Spence, Danny Jimenez, Brady Basso, and JT Ginn in the pen. Guys, that's my 26-man roster. Is that a World Series roster? Maybe. You never know. I will tell you this. It is a roster that's going to be extremely tough to beat. We appreciate you making today's episode of Locked On A's your first listen of the day. For your second listen, be sure to check out Locked On MLB with your pal Sully. Don't forget that between these episodes, you can keep up with me and your A's by following me on social media at Boonie, Booney 35 on X or Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days. It is World Series week. We have some exciting episodes coming up this week where we are going to look back at some of the Oakland Athletics World Series performances. We will see you tomorrow right here on Locked On A's, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
You are Locked On A's, your daily Oakland A's podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.